Hi, welcome to episode 1 of A Deeper Dive into the World of Hillbilly Chess, The Bastard Pawn by Peggy Watkins. That would be me. I'm very excited that you're here today, and every Thursday about 9 o'clock in the morning I will be posting another episode of A Deeper Dive into the World of Hillbilly Chess, The Bastard Pawn, which is actually now available on Amazon in paperback or ebook. It's available in Barnes & Nobles in Battle Creek, Michigan, and it's also available at Sterling Books and Brew in Albion, Michigan. And pretty much any place can get it for you if you just tell them what you're looking for. So on with this. So most of the time, I'm going to be taking little clips out of the book, talking about them, and really diving deeper into them, much more than what I did in the book. So today, I want to kind of switch it up a little bit, and I'll do that from time to time, and hopefully it's always interesting. But the other day, I was in Albion, and I ran into a friend, and we got to talking, and he asked me a question that really got me thinking. He said, "Peggy, how was that for you to write your story and actually put it out there in the public?" And now it's like, you know, people from our hometown, they know what you went through and everything. And I'm thinking, well, it wasn't like a bag of chips. It wasn't easy. It wasn't fun. And I really, really thought about it. The more I thought about it, the deeper I thought. And then, of course, as a writer, I sat down and I wrote something. So I'm going to read that to you because I don't want to miss any of it, and I want you to know what it was like for me to write my story and to really put it out there. Writing Hillbilly Chess, The Bastard Pawn has awakened me with intense feelings of rage and sadness. But within those feelings came a lot of healing. And that was a lot of the healing that I really desperately needed and that I had never found until I really just let everything out. And the big ticket, I think, for me was walking away from those people that constantly hurt me and constantly, you know, belittling me, making me feel less than them, just always, you know, just that. When I closed the door on those people and I said enough, and that's what I meant, life started happening and I couldn't be more happy just walking away from them. But sitting down and reliving my story, well, one, that wasn't easy, and it certainly wasn't easy to share with the public. That was very hard. Telling folks was hard. Even as a counselor, I knew it would be tough to open up and tell someone, but doing so was the best thing for me. And like I said, I'm a professional psychotherapist. I knew it was needed, so I did it. I went to therapy, and I needed it. I needed to open up. I needed to talk to somebody who didn't know my past, didn't know anything about my family or anything. And that's where healing also began. Many places healings can begin, but until you're ready to really deal with them inside, they don't happen. So, you know, the other thing is I knew I had to get better mentally, because mentally I was in this state of, well, you know, this is my family, and I you know, I'm gonna stay here and they're gonna love me. One of these days they're gonna be proud of me. One of these days they're gonna like accept me and I'm gonna be a part of them. Really, it never happened. It would never happen, no matter what. I knew there would be haters talking about why I would put myself out there, such as I did. Well, yeah, there's always going to be haters. Nonetheless, bringing it all back to life and telling my story without holding back has empowered me to live with peace, happiness, and a very different love for others, allowing me to be myself and to smile. And when I say a different love for others, because I wasn't raised with your typical normal love, like, oh, you know, I love you, honey, I'm so proud of you, I'm so excited for you. I was raised with, oh my God, you're so stupid. Why did you do that for? That's so dumb. Yeah, stuff like that and worse. But now I feel good about myself. You know, I feel like I've got it out and I'm healing. And as I wrote Hillbilly Chess the Bastard Pawn, I realized that others needed to hear about these hardships. I thought that maybe others could also heal from hearing or reading my story. So I edited the heck out of this book. I took away about 3/4 of it, and then I published a 1/4. So this is 344 pages I published. I probably took away 3/4 of this, which is still sitting on my laptop, which will never go to public. And that's okay. It works for me, and I like that. Yeah, I wanted to tell my story on the hopes that other people would recognize and understand the depths of what abuse does to one's soul and life. And maybe if the monsters are brought out of the closet and society starts looking closer, we might see the children who need help, and then we can step up and do something and help those kids. Trust me, as a counselor, and that's what I've been doing for the last like several years of my life, is working with children who are abused and molested and raped and foster care, adoptions. Trust me, there are a lot of children out there who need someone to open up their eyes and take a good long look and say, oh my God, I've got to do something to help this child get out of that situation. It's not fun growing up with abuse and constantly being belittled or made to feel like you're worthless. You grow up and you think you are. Well, I'm glad that I was strong enough to believe in myself and not believe what I was told. I share some of my life events that were traumatic and brutal experiences at the hands of my adopted mom, biological father, and others, whom all should have loved me but never did. And while my immediate family mistreated me, both sides of my family ignored the signs of abuse, doing nothing. Now, I'm going to say, I'm not sure that either one of the sides of the family, I don't know, maybe they really didn't understand abuse. Maybe they didn't know. There was a couple aunts that actually knew, and they didn't do shit. But besides those, there was maybe the families really didn't know. So maybe if people read this book, it'll open their eyes to deeper things to look for, littler things, and like, oh, I read about that, and is this happening to this kid too? You know, just, start researching. Take a look. Help somebody. Don't ignore it. I wanted to be that spark of inspiration and hope for others to see that they too will begin their healing journey. Because isn't that what life is all about, is helping others along the way? It's not to hurt and cause problems and pain, but it's to be kind and do unto them as you want them to do unto you. And as a child, I was starved for affection. The one person's love and tenderness I needed in my life, that was stripped away from me. And it was held over me with a grudge for years. My adopted mom, she It was a grudge. And even into her deathbed, she had that grudge towards me and my mom. And that's sad. Because of her and my biological father's resentments and loathing, my birth mother and myself were stripped of the mother-daughter relationship we should have had. We were stripped of the life we should have had. I should have been raised with her. She should have raised me, not her sister. And there's more about how that happened and why later. My story is an offering for those who've experienced abuse and the pain of growing up abused. This book can also guide those seeking insight and understanding in the medical and psychological fields, a more profound look inside the life and mind of an abused child, and how that abuse follows them into adulthood. I want to show my strength through this mess and come out of the other side ready to find happiness and love and safeguard others in the same situation. So yeah, writing this was a big thing for me because I thought maybe this will help others. And I enjoy helping other people. I went into psychology. I'm a people person, definitely. And so there you go. There's that. It is really hard to comprehend how a parent can wreak so much habit or such horrible abuse onto their own children and even their adopted children. But it's even harder to imagine how a child can get out of the situation and heal. Trust me, I've worked with a lot, and a lot of them don't. A lot of them fall into the same abuse circle. Have kids, abuse them, their kids grow up, have kids, abuse their kids, and on and on and on. That's what I would really, my biggest hope is, can we stop that? Is there some way we can stop, or maybe, I don't think it's ever going to stop, but is there some way we can cut it down, cut it in half, cut a quarter of it out, save a child? My book, Hillbilly Chest, The Bastard Pawn, it is disturbing. It is inexcusable. And it's time to shift the guidelines that society has set. Not all wounded stay defeated. Despite my circumstances, I succeeded and took back control. I am simply sharing a fraction of the terror of my childhood in hopes that this story might help others who were also abused and maybe are still stuck in the ruins of others. I hope others like me will heal and not allow the past to own their future. We can all heal, even after years and years of abuse at the hands of people who in normal conditions should love and keep us safe but didn't. I hope this book will open people's eyes to the abuse behind closed doors and the secrets that families keep. That's what I'm really hoping. And again, yes, it was really hard to hit that button and say publish this book, because I can tell you Amazon has a 7-day pause. Once you hit publish, there's a 7-day pause. And during those 7 days, I broke down a few times and I cried and I thought, I'm just going to take it off. You know, I know there's going to be people out there, well, there's going to be a handful of people out there that they've already started and whatever, really. I don't know what to say other than I really hope it helps some people. I really hope it opens eyes to how horrible abuse is and how horrible it is for children to live through it and have to grow up with it. But if we don't pull that monster out of the closet and let people see it, how are people going to know? So there's so many other books out there pertaining to different people and their abuse that they lived through and their struggles of finding liberation. I mean, there's some really good books out there, including mine, that help people. And I encourage you, if you're interested in this, I encourage you to buy a couple. Get mine, buy a couple more. Read them. Do something. If you know of a child who might be being abused, please take that minute just to do something. You can always call in anonymously and report people. I know that sounds harsh to some people. They're like, oh my God, are you encouraging that? No, I'm telling you, if you think someone's being abused, get off your ass and do something about it instead of sitting there and going, oh, he's abused. Because that doesn't help anybody. And that's one other thing I want to talk about real quick, and then I'll wrap it up. So many times when people talk about, oh, this child, they'll say, oh, well, little Joey was abused. He was abused? Well, who abused him? Well, his daddy abused him. Oh, well, that's sad. Tell me more. Tell me more about that abuse. What did he do? What happened? That's what we miss. That's what's missing in society. People hear the word abuse and they, oh, well, he was abused. You don't hear the back side of the story. You don't know what that abuse was and how traumatic it was for that child to go through it. Just saying. It wasn't easy for me. It was easy for me to write this. It was easy for me to edit it. It was very hard for me to publish it and put it out there and tell people what happened in my life and how, if you read the story the way it's supposed to be read, you're going to read from childhood to teen to adulthood. I started here because that's where the abuse started, and it carried through my life. And I want you to see how that abuse carries on and continues to affect people. That's what I want you to see. I want you to take notice. Thank you so much. Next Thursday, back at ya.